Whoops, sorry. You guys should be able to hear me now. Hear me doing my last minute duct taping. It's hard to ferrule proof. Ooh. We're gonna try. Without duct tape. Okay. Very good. Okay. Look at that extra leg. Okay, I think that's most of what is gonna happen. So, okay, I'm gonna go get her. It's a little tight space in here, so it should be interesting, but make it work. Okay, I sit right here. We'll attempt to sit there. What is that? Okay. Good. Okay, thermometer, revolution, erythromycin, stethoscope, lube, alcohol, headlamp, air cleaning solution, gauze, Q-tips, feel away, vaccine. I think that's good. Hepatine solution. Maybe I should get one of just water. everybody, welcome back. So I'm about to get my first look at Skye, who is a feral cat who just showed up at our feeding station this spring. She's only been by a couple of times, but I think now that she's fairly heavily pregnant, she was more incentivized to find food, so luckily we saw her, and I was able to trap her today. This is her toilet, her own personal toilet. I have her in a room you guys probably haven't seen before. There's like a weird sort of bathroom off of my office. But I suspect I'm going to have to take a different approach with her than with the other pregnant ferals we are currently fostering, so I don't know why this camera keeps making noise. It's new. Okay, so I'm going to take her out, and then we can I can get a little more settled. Oh, we brought some leaves and stuff with us. There she is. She's not super excited about being in here, but there's some forest material. Oh, do you see? You can see her left eye there is quite cloudy, and you may also be able to see a fairly large ulcer on her right eye, so I'm just going to get her as best I can. Hey, sweetheart, I'm sorry about this. I promise that this is your best day ever, even though you don't know that. You think this is your worst day ever, but it's actually your best day ever, I promise. Do you know why? Because it means that your babies are going to have a really good chance, and you're going to have a really good chance. It's going to be super awesome. Super awesome. And I promise I'm not going to eat you. It's a bit crowded. This door is broken, so that's not going to be super helpful. Alright, well, I guess I'll just wing it. Just try to wing it a bit. Okay. So, scary human gets hidden behind the blanket. She's feral. But I found that using a blanket, I don't have to use gloves. At least I haven't had to yet. I shouldn't jinx myself like that. So I'm just gonna try to quietly slide the door up. I'm not sure if this is covered. Camera's making a weird creaky noise, I don't know why. But it's brand new. So there's unfortunately nothing we can do about it at the moment. Okay. So the goal is to keep covered. Now I'm going to try to encourage her into the dark spot in my lap. Maybe there's some wet on her. Okay, so we'll see if she'll go on her own. Should have these covered now. So we don't know her very well at all, and she really doesn't know me, so I don't know what her personality is going to be like. Okay, she's moving toward the blanket. Phase 1 successful. Okay, now. I'm just going to try to turn because all my stuff's behind me. You're okay. Okay, you're okay. Good girl. Okay. Okay, good. Now I'm going to close that. Okay, so far so good. I'm gonna turn this on and the camera clicking won't drive you crazy. It's gonna drive me crazy, but okay. Let me know if you can hear okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna see how she reacts to. So far, so good. Okay. There's her ears. Okay, so wrapping them in a blanket like this and keeping their faces completely covered seems to be that has been very effective. That way. Well, you know what? Let me see if I can switch to a different camera, because the clicking is gonna drive me crazy, and especially if you guys can hear it. I think I can maybe do it, because I have this other one right here. As long as it's not noisy. Come on, universe. There we go. Okay, let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. Okay. So I switched the extension cable. I think maybe that was it, because both of those cameras were clicking. Now I'm going to have to reset it up. But it's good. Okay. You guys should have sound. You should be good. Okay. You smell like you're nervous. Now I'm going to try to close this. So this is the first time she's ever been in a human lap. I'm sure she's not enjoying it, but she's at least tolerating it pretty well, which is wonderful. I'm trying to think of what order to do things. So she is pregnant. I would guess she's around 45 to 50 days along, but it's of course completely impossible to know for sure. That's only based on her size, and she could be, I mean, it's totally impossible to say, but she is visibly pretty pregnant. So Sable was visibly pregnant for like a month. Neelix is, you know, just starting to get a noticeable bump. So, you know, we really won't know for sure. But because she's pregnant, I am going to vaccinate with a killed vaccine, which is safe for pregnant cats. Because the cats from this colony have pretty bad upper respiratory viruses, and so the hope is that by vaccinating the moms when they come in, that the babies' upper respiratory viruses will be less severe, because 100% of the kittens we've had born to the feral moms, even if the feral moms don't have symptoms, 100% of them have had pretty wicked upper respiratory infections. So, I'm gonna, I think, as far as priorities go, I'm gonna try to do the vaccines and the sort of less intrusive stuff. So I'm gonna give her a vaccine quickly, and the eye ointment, ideally I'll be giving her 3 times a day, but for a feral cat to have to look the human predator in the eye and get eye ointment is a pretty tall order, so I'm gonna save that till we're a little further along, just so that I can get as much stuff done as possible if I need to stress her out at all. So here's my vaccine. The nice fresh needle. So we give vaccines in the legs, so I'm gonna give it in her back left leg. Normally we try to only vaccinate when we do exams, like if she had a proper exam, but we don't really have the luxury of doing that right now, so sort of doing the best we can. Oh, you get the wet. It was very rainy today, so I'm just feeling. There's a tail. It's a very cute tail. I'm just gonna try to find her leg. There's her pivot. She's in a tiny little ball. There, okay. I don't know if she will appreciate this, probably not. Oh, good. Good girl, that was So it's very, very critical that you use a killed virus only when you're vaccinating pregnant cats. And that's what we're using. Okay. So far her reaction is giving me hope that if she just shuts down when she's feeling stressed, I will be able to give her meds. As she becomes more confident, she may become more difficult to handle. I'm going to try to just blacklight her tail to see if there is anything. It's a it's a bit bright in here, but I should be able to see if she has any sort of fluorescence. That would just be like the cherry on the cake, on the sandwich. I don't know what. And often with these particular ferals, the species of ringworm they have does fluoresce, and it is often, almost all of them have had it on their tails. So I'm just going to check her tail. So it's not going to be a thorough check at all, but it actually looks pretty good. She doesn't have any obvious lesions that not that I can really see, but she looks okay. She's doing really well. So I mean, the bottom half of her tail looks good. I'm not going to be too invasive with her. I'm not I'm not going to take her temperature today, I don't think. I think that's asking too much. I don't know. That would be pretty invasive, huh? I think I can do that tomorrow. Okay, I've got some Revolution. So this Revolution will help with fleas and ear mites and worms, except for tapeworms. I'm going to give her that today. I think I'm going to just try to check her ears first. Ideally, when you give Revolution, you want to clean the ears first. So I'm going to see how she reacts to having me get close to her ears. Trusty headlamp is on. Hi there. Hi, you're doing really well. I know you've had a rough day, huh? First you had to get all wet in the rain and kind of muddy. So I'm just going to uncover just her ear, because I want her to feel as safe as possible. Which clearly she's definitely nervous, but we have a lot of blanket to get through. I know you're such a good girl. You're so wet. The wet, where's your ear? There it is. This might feel good. Some people don't mind this part, huh? There, perfect. There she is. Oh, that's your other ear. There's even one ear over here. There's two ears. You just keep your little face hidden and don't worry about what's happening up here. And maybe this will feel good for you. Uh-oh, they don't look good. We'll see. We'll see what we can excavate out of there, but it doesn't actually look super bad. I'm gonna wet some of these. Nice, sweetheart. I know this is your first ear cleaning ever. She's gonna be like, take me back to the forest. I know, but it might be good. Not too bad in there. How did you escape the horrible ear mite funk? Well, that's good. Not too bad. That just means that you're not gonna enjoy your ears being scratched like the other guys do. It's okay though. We'll take it. Let me look at the other one just to make sure that one's good too. Oh, you're so cute. Oh no. That one looks not too bad too. those are pretty clean ears. That's very impressive. Good job. Good job. Always so beautiful. She's wet and dirty. I can dry you off a little bit, but I'm not going to try to give you a bath. That would be mean. That would be mean of me, wouldn't it? You're such a good girl. You're very good. This is a pretty normal feral cat reaction to stress and to threat. It's just completely shut down and she's just waiting for it to be over. But it does give me a good opportunity to do a revolution. I'm just going to cover her back up a little bit because it's going to be a bit noisy. It doesn't necessarily mean that she'll be able to be tamed. But it at least means that it will be easier for me to give her meds, which is what we really need right now. That's the most important thing. Here we go. Revolutions for you, please. A little deworming. Won't that be okay? Okay, so far so good. So we've got ears cleaned, revolution, vaccine. Oh, let's trim your nails since you're not going back to the forest anytime soon. Let's see if we can do a pedicure. What do you think about that? Should we find your toes first? Where are they? They're way in here somewhere. This is part of your toe, head, and elbow. Average gestation for a cat is 64 days. Oh, look at that that's a very muddy little paw. It's very muddy. You won't get muddy here. I'm not trimming them too much, but what a good girl you are. It's a very awkward angle, but good girl. Thank you. That was very nice of you. Very nice of you to let me do that. And I leave the back ones. I would like to get the other side, but I'm going to wait till I look at her face. Because I don't want to have to shift her around more than necessary. Alright, so I have an ointment called erythromycin, which I'm going to try to get into her eyes. These are likely ulcers caused by upper respiratory virus that obviously have been left untreated, and if it looks, her left eye is very advanced and would likely have ruptured and been very painful, and her right eye is on its way. So she would have been blind within, who knows, weeks or months, and with babies on the way, it's just not a very good situation. So hi, sweetheart. I know, I'm so sorry. I know this is scary. This part's going to be scary because feral cats don't like to look you in the eye, let alone have you putting stuff in their eyeball. But let me see, maybe she can't really see me coming. And that I find the ointment hard to give to like non-feral cats, like hard to get in the right place. So this is asking a lot. So I'm just going to try to do my best. And yeah, we'll have lots of chance. I'm so sorry. I know it's very scary. How can we just uncover one eyeball and make your worst eyeball? It's a very bad eyeball. Okay, good girl. Okay. I know, I'm so sorry. I know, good girl. Also, I find the ointment just keeps coming out. Alright, and I'm going to take some pictures for Dr. Ferguson. Good girl. Ouchie. Good girl. I'm going to help you feel better, I promise. Oh, that's just heartbreaking. To think how long she's been like this. Oh my goodness, ouchie. So I don't know if we can save her left eye, but it is possible that I got her in time. I don't know. And I don't know about her right eye. I think we have a much better chance of saving her right eye. Sweetheart, I know this one you can actually see me coming. It's totally not cool. It's totally not cool. There, good girl. Alright, see, you're getting some help now. You're getting some help. Oh, it just keeps coming out. I need to put the lid on before it all comes out. Oh, thank you so much for letting me do this. I really appreciate that you let me do that. That was really awesome of you. You're gonna feel better. Even though it's so scary and terrible. Okay. So, yeah, so she is feral. She's very shut down right now because she's afraid. This is, many feral cats do react this way when they're trapped. And then at first opportunity, she will try to escape and, you know, she may climb the walls, she may run and hide. They all react kind of differently once they're loose. But while she's being held by the human predator, she's being as still and quiet as possible, and that's why she's letting me handle her. And thank goodness, some feral cats do not react like this, and that's something I was concerned about, that if she was aggressive or was panicky, then it would be really hard to do eye drops 3 times a day. The other thing that's really complicating the situation is that she's pregnant, and obviously stress is a huge factor in the health of the babies and the safety of the pregnancy. So ideally I wouldn't be handling her 3 times a day to do eye drops, because it will be just that much more stressful. But I mean, the priority is trying to save her vision, because she can't survive in the woods. She can survive with 1 good eyeball, she can't survive with none, obviously, right? So, and if there's any possibility of socializing her, at least I'll be able to determine that to some degree before she has her babies. So whatever happens with her, at least she has a chance, whereas in the forest she had no chance. She would not have survived, and her babies would not have survived. So, you know, whatever we can salvage here is going to be a win. So it would be really great if she turns out like Inara. That would be great. Inara is one of our other ferals that did wonderfully and is now in a wonderful home. But it would be happiest back in the forest once she's done with having her babies and everything. And once she's healed, hopefully, and spayed, of course, then we'll send her back. But at least she and her babies will all be spayed and neutered. She's gonna have a chance to have her vision saved, and that's the best we can hope for at this point. You're such a good girl, aren't you? You're so scared. I know. I'm sorry. So, I'm just gonna see if I can feel anything in here. And then I'll check her teeth and see what her teeth look like. She's in a very protective bowl right now. You can read more about what we're doing with feral cats at tinykittens.com/ferals. I'm trying to document a lot of the more unusual stuff that we're doing, because when I was trying to learn about feral cats, there's tons of great information about doing traditional trap, neuter, return, but there's not much information available about how to like foster pregnant cats or care for injured feral cats. So I'm trying to at least document what we're doing and what we're learning to help other people who might want to try the same thing. You're pretty scrunchy, huh? So she at any moment could sort of come alive and take off. And this is a small room, so I'm gonna have to clear out some of the intake stuff that I brought in. I'm just trying to see if I can feel any sort of baby movement. She's pretty, she's in a pretty tiny ball, so it's a little bit, I don't want to disturb her too much. Okay, that's your ball. You sit in such a little ball. Very good. Sorry, I just pulled your hair. I just tried to do that. So rude. It's so rude. It's our first date. And I'm already. Let's see. Good girl. God, we're working on this side. Oh, she says, what's happening there? That's not cool. That's not cool. You guys will see when she is out and about. She's got a pretty big baby bump. You're really pretty. Alright, I'm gonna leave you alone. Okay, I have one more paw of nails I want to trim, and then I'm just gonna sit with her for a little while and see if she relaxes at all. If she responds at all to just being like petted a little bit, because I have no choice but to interact with her, so I'm gonna try to do more socialization with her than I normally would with a pregnant feral cat, just because I have no choice, so I may as well try to get through to her. And maybe she'll respond like mistletoe and holly bell and those guys. That's kind of best case scenario. She's definitely not going to be interested in food right now, and she definitely will not go into labor from the shock. Hi, where's your little face? There's your little face. I think she had at least 2 weeks to go, but I could totally be wrong too. Could be wrong. Can I look at your little teeth? I'm so sorry, I know it's very invasive and rude. Very invasive. Very beautiful. So I checked their teeth to try to get a sense of age. I don't think she's super old. I think she's probably between a year and 18 months old. We found with the ferals at our colony, their teeth look older than they actually are. Like if I looked at Cassidy's teeth, I would think he was older. I'm not sure what it is, but he's so beautiful and brave. You're so brave. So it's a little bit of a different setup in here. because I'm going to have to be capturing her 3 times a day, and that can be super stressful, I have rigged up a bin. Like this. It has a little opening in the front. I can't show you. But it's got hooks so that I can basically rig so I can have the blanket in there, and then when she runs in, I can just put the flap of the blanket down and lift off the bin, and she'll already be wrapped in the blanket, and I think it will be very low stress, and then I'll be able to give her her meds. You're doing really great. I know it's very scary. So at least she'll have good nutrition, and she's been vaccinated. She'll be dewormed. The only thing I didn't do is take her temperature because, I mean, that's really rude. That's really rude. But I probably will take it one of these days. But so she's breathing fast, which is a sign of stress. But I had to drop the trap. The drop trap is my least favorite way to trap, but it's super effective because you can get cats that are trap shy into a drop trap, and they'll never go into a regular trap. So there were 2 other cats in the drop trap, Hayes and Templeton, which are both like big man cats who we've already neutered. And so she went in. I was surprised she went in there with them and started eating, and nobody's appendages were under the edge of the trap, so I had to drop it on all 3 of them, and then you have to like transfer them one at a time out of the drop trap without any of them escaping, and those boys were like lifting the edges and digging holes. They were on their way out, so it was pretty exciting. It wasn't the lowest stress trapping we've ever seen, but it was fast at least. So because she's pregnant, I have to be super careful about anything I do for her. You can't treat eye infections with oral antibiotics or injectable antibiotics, anything like that. It has to be an antibiotic applied to the eye. I do have feel away in here to help reduce stress. And it will be quiet, and she does have actually some really good natural light in here. And I did build her like a Lego shelf. Where is it? My amazing cameras. This camera is duct taped to the floor, so she's got some good windows and like a high up shelf that she can hang out on. So I think it's going to be pretty cozy for her. Poor thing. I know this is not your ideal day, but you're going to feel better soon. So every 8 hours she's going to get eye meds, so next one around midnight. I'm very hopeful about her right eye because it's not super advanced. I don't know what's going to happen with her left eye. I think it's likely that we will need to remove it, but it's at least worth a shot to try to save it and see if it responds to the antibiotics. Stress always makes these things worse, but I think we're sort of balancing that out with vaccines and good nutrition and parasite control. And hopefully she will adjust and feel more comfortable here within, you know, a week or so at the worst case scenario. I'm gonna move a couple of these things out just in case. Just so there's not like a bunch of stuff all over the place when she's ready to go. So I'm super relieved that I was able to trap her today. I was very worried about her. So typically they are too stressed to eat for the first, it can go as long as a day. I did wait before I dropped the trap to let her eat some food, so she has had a good meal. You know, it's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world if she doesn't eat for a day. Oh, that's your toy, you can keep that. I don't think I can unplug the black light from here, though. There's your cow. Put your cow right there. Oh, it's very noisy frozen spinach. Now I have to fix all my cameras that I messed up. Alright, so cotton swabs, we probably aren't gonna really need those for you. Oh, that was noisy. Your ears look so good. How did you keep your ears so clean out there, huh? Oh, I should, I don't have my scale in here. It would be nice to get a weight on her, but if this is gonna work, I'm gonna have to handle her multiple times a day, so there will be future opportunities as long as she complies with my plan and goes into her little nesting spot. It's a little small for a birthing nest, but it's all I got on short notice since we have like 2 more pregnant ferals here and Sable with her newborn babies. All of the nests are occupied, so, and I think this will work better for now anyway until we can see how she responds. And then there's a lot of flexibility required when you're working with feral cats as their needs change. So let's see. I know, she's breathing very fast. I don't blame you. So what else needs to go on? I think that's... This water can go. I'm just trying to clear out some of these superfluous items. Maybe we can come a bit closer. Let's see if we can do any sort of a close-up. I'll see if I can get her face out at all. She's very nervous. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry you're so nervous. I know it's scary. We only got one of your paws. What's all this? Oh, there's your, okay. Let's see, here we go. Yeah, so we're gonna need lots of help getting all these feral kittens. Well, they won't be feral kittens. These would be feral kittens adopted, so please keep watching and share, and if you know people who would be exceptional kitty parents, share our info with them, tinykittens.com. I'll have to set, I have nothing set up for her. I'll keep her on this stream because I don't have enough stuff to set up 3 separate streams right now. At least she'll be dry and she'll have access to high quality nutrition, and she'll be getting treatment for her eyes. So there's no way to know what's going to happen next. We just have to take it visit by visit and see how she does and hope for the best. Right, little muffin? Oh my goodness, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. Some of you might be surprised that this is what a feral cat acts like, but this is what some feral cats act like. I haven't had to use my gloves at all. I'm obviously proceeding with caution and I'm very aware of every little move she makes and her mood and her reactions to my moving around, and all of that informs the way that I proceed with her and the way that I interact with her. But it's been amazing to me how much we've been able to handle so many of the injured ones, and well, all of the injured ones we've tried so far have been okay with us handling them and doing meds and stuff. So I promise I'm not gonna eat you. You're gonna be feeling better tomorrow. I know this is not how you thought your day would go, but at least you're dry. I know. You're a good girl. Maybe you'll be like Savina and your body will betray you. Hard to know whether this is her first litter or not. Her nipples felt like they've been used before, but no way to know that for sure. No way to tell, is there, little one? You're okay. Just trying to get a better look. I may as well try to check her a little more thoroughly if I can. Just get her used to me and invade her privacy a little bit. You're so pretty. You're very brave. Where's your little foot? Your little feet are white. I mean wet. They might be way too wet. I don't even know what your feet look like. You're very dirty though. Hmm? You're very soft, but you're very dirty. She is not sedated. There's no sedation I can use that would be safe for a pregnant cat. The reason she is sitting here like this is because her face is covered and her individual reaction to stress is to shut down, which is very lucky for both of us. So, she's not sedated. She's doing this because she's scared that I'm going to eat her. But I'm not going to eat you. I don't eat cats. This is a pretty typical feral cat reaction under stress, to shut down like this. Normally I would not force so much interaction on her right away, but she's going to have to tolerate me 3 times a day, so I'm pushing it a little harder than I would otherwise, because I don't have the luxury of taking my time, because her eyes need to be treated 3 times a day or she's going to lose them. We don't want that. You would look very beautiful with 2 eye patches, but it would not be very fun in the forest that way. Let's see if I can get this. Let's see if we can do any petting on you, or if you just are gonna be so scared. Let's see if we can get you to shift. Yeah, so I'm using only topical antibiotics in her eyes because that's the only thing that will help, and because she's pregnant, so I have to be extra careful. But I could give her something like Clavamox, which is safe for pregnant cats, but I'm not, because it wouldn't help her eyes. And we have to be careful about our use of antibiotics, because you don't want to end up with resistant cats that have resistant bacteria and things. So here she is. She does not have blue eyes. That is a symptom of her condition. She has beautiful copper eyes, but you just can't tell. Oh, it looks like it's sore. It's very nice that you're being so brave. I know this is very scary. Thinking about escaping. Oh, such a good girl. So I'm just going to see if she responds at all to me touching her, if she eventually relaxes, but I'm going to be quiet for a while, so. just want to make sure that wasn't a tick. And it wasn't. Good job. Looking very brave. Very brave. all of the cats of the colony are exposed to this virus. They all bring it in here. They all have it. All the kittens have gotten it. If I were to combine her with one of the other cats, it's the same virus they have. But she just ended up getting the ulcers in her eyes, whereas some get them in their mouths. It depends on the cat. Wait, did it make you nervous when I'm talking? I know I don't sound like a coyote, do I? I sound like something weird, like an alien. So at any point she might decide it's time to go. I will at that point try to direct her to her little hidey hole. But I would expect she'll do some exploring of the room, possibly frantic exploring, depending on how she reacts to me being in the room with her. When she's not in the blanket, I'm not holding her down or anything. She could get up and go if she wanted to. I've done everything I wanted to get done for this initial session, which is good. Hopefully my blanket contraption works. I'm gonna have to do a bit of rewiring in here, but hopefully she will go in her little hiding box and just hide in there while I get things tidied up for her in here. Yeah, I don't think she's going to be in the mood to eat for a while. I did let her eat before I dropped the trap, so she has had some food for today. It was wet and muddy today. So if any of you guys are new to this camera, you can go to tinykittens.com/live and see one of our other feral mama cats named Sable. She has 3 adorable babies. They're 13 days old today, right? 2 little gingers and a tortie. Very cute. I have not weighed them yet today because today has been a super marathon day. But tinykittens.com/live if you want to see kittens that have already come out. I'm going to keep the cam on her, and if Savina does anything interesting, I'll switch over for a bit, but we're sharing the computer with Savina right now, so I'll also update the information and put some links in there so that people can learn more if they want to. And then I'm going to go check on Cassidy once she decides to vacate my lap. Cassidy came from the same colony. He was 9 weeks old when I brought him here, and he was missing both back legs below the knee. So I've been doing daily physical therapy with him for the last 6 months, trying to restore function to his knee joints so that we can get some fancy new legs implanted below his knees to replace the missing part of his leg. The physical therapy has not been going that well. So we did Botox today in he has contracted muscles, his quadricep muscle, which is, we're hoping, is what was preventing him from being able to bend his knees. So in the next 2 to 4 weeks we should know better if the Botox has had an effect or if it hasn't. There's a good chance it will do nothing. This is definitely a long shot, but it's something that Dr. Ferguson and our vet team have been researching for the last 2 months. And so, and it's commonly used in like kids with cerebral palsy and people with migraines, so it's just not used in animals very often, but has some significant potential benefits. And we're at a point where physical therapy alone is not working anymore, so it's kind of our last hope at saving his knees. So if it doesn't work, then we go to plan B, which is probably going to be doing the implants into his thigh bone, which is still better than how he is now, but not what I was hoping for, so that's why we're trying every possible thing. So it's a very hopeful sign that Skye is letting me handle her to this extent. Although we can't celebrate just yet because as they get more confident and start to feel safer in their surroundings, they tend to get feistier. So I'm hoping that I can lay some groundwork and establish like a tiny bit of trust and have some positive interactions with her. And you know, I just have to do the best that I can and hope that she's receptive to me and to interacting with me and continues to allow me to give her the meds, because she obviously really needs them. So I'll try to show you again. So her eyes are copper in color, they're not blue. What you're seeing is the result of an untreated, very severe viral ulcer. I'm trying not to cough because that's how it's not okay. There's no question that her left eye would have ruptured within either weeks or months, and her right eye also has an ulcer on it, and so her right eye would not have been far behind. So the reason her eyes are not blue, it just looks blue because it's in such bad condition, because the ulcer has caused quite a bit of damage. She can still see out of her right eye, although the ulcer in the right eye is obstructing some of her vision, but she can still see well enough to get around. Okay, I have to cough, so I'm going to cover her up for a minute because it's going to scare her. Sorry, I tried to avoid it. But I couldn't. So it probably is painful for her. I will see if there's anything I can do about that. I suspect that there's nothing I can do except treat with the antibiotics and hope that that helps enough. At least it won't be getting worse, and so we can, feel slightly better about that. But she's definitely she's survived, this condition for quite some time, and it's progressed pretty far. So it's good that I don't know how much longer she would have lasted out there, and being pregnant on top of it is just, it's tough. tough. So the moral of the story is to please spay and neuter, because this is what happens to a lot of the cats out there, and most of them you don't even know existed, because they go through all this in the forest and you don't even see them. You don't even know they ever lived, but they do. And they all have value. Skye has value, her kittens have value. And so we're going to do everything we can to get her feeling better. Try to save both of her eyes if we can. But her right eye for sure. Do everything we can for her. And see how she does, and I don't know what we'll end up doing. We have a couple of barrels that we have removed, very damaged eyeballs, and they're doing great with just one eye. They're all the ones we've done that to are doing really well. So if she remains truly feral and her eye needs to be removed, she can still live very happily back at the colony. But it would be obviously ideal if she was receptive to being socialized, and that way, even if she does lose both of her eyes, we can hopefully try to find her a really special, awesome home. But I'm hoping we can save at least one of her eyes. I'm hoping that we don't have to make a call where we would have to rush her to emergency surgery, because that would kill the kittens. So I'm just going to take it hour by hour and be in close contact with Dr. Ferguson, and we will make whatever decisions need to be made when they need to be made, and try to make the most compassionate decision for everybody involved. She's definitely feeling stressed, but not to like a debilitating extent. She's shut down, and she's breathing fast, as you can see, but she's doing really well. The most important thing is not her socialization at this point, it's that I can treat her eyes. She probably is in pain, yes. Unfortunately, but the eye ointment will help with that, and I am finding out if there's anything topical I can do that would help. I suspect the ointment is really the best I can do for her right now. At least the pain's not going to get any worse. I wouldn't want to do a C-section on her any earlier than we needed to. I mean, that this condition is not comfortable, and it's obviously needs immediate treatment, but it's not life-threatening. It's not anything that, in fact, I would rather not do surgery now, because I want to try to save the eye. If we sent her to surgery, it would be to remove the eye, and so I want to give her a chance, and she would need at least 2 weeks of treatment to see if the eye is making progress. And I think around that time is when she'll be having babies, so, but who knows. So she has had her first round of treatment. She'll get her next around midnight. And regardless of what happens with her, the outcome will be so much better than if she was in the forest. for her and her babies. I'm doing everything possible to save both eyes. I have talked to Dr. Ferguson about coming in here. I'm not going to take her anywhere because it will be too stressful and there's nothing more that can be done for her. So we know what the problem is, we know how to treat it. So there's really, beyond something like diagnosing a heart murmur or some unrelated issue, which again we can't really do anything about at this point. I'm trying to keep her stress level as low as possible. There are no safe painkillers that I can give her, orally at least. I think just the antibiotic ointment, I think, will help make her feel better, and being able to treat the ulcers, I think, will be really helpful. And also just having her dewormed and having good nutrition, her pain will decrease. So she's not sedated. She's just letting me pet her because she's shut down, because she's scared. You can tell she's breathing fast. Yeah, the eye ointment starts to work pretty much immediately. So that's why we're doing it every 8 hours, because it works pretty fast. So I don't know how quickly we'll start to see results, if it will be within a week or 2 weeks. I think within 2 weeks we should see some sort of improvement, but this is a pretty severe problem. So, and I've never tried this before, so we just have to wait and see. I know you're so scared. I'm so sorry that you're scared, but you're safe here. And you have good, we have the best food. You're gonna love it. Oh, so tasty. And you're gonna be dry and warm, and you're gonna actually love it. I made a really comfy bed for you. It's so comfy. Super comfy. You're gonna love it. Maybe I should put some fresh in there. So just like with all of our ferals, there's not really a specific plan or course of action. You have to wait and see. Each individual cat is different. They respond differently. Their needs evolve and change depending on how confident they are and how good they're feeling and how quickly they adjust and all those things. So I can't answer a lot of questions about, what's going to happen next, what the plan is, because I'm just making it up as I go. The only thing I know at this point is that I need to give her eye meds 3 times a day. And so that's where we are right now. We just have to wait and see. I know. Do you think this has been enough? Have you had enough? Do you think it's time to go in your little box? She's pretty huddled up in a very tight ball, so I didn't feel around too much. Let me see where her back. Oh, she is maybe in a position now where I can feel something. Let me see. There's your kidney. And she's breathing pretty fast too. Yes, I appreciate the support. The ulcers shouldn't affect the development of the babies, but the virus is obviously something that does get passed along from mom to babies, which is why I have vaccinated her. Okay, sweetie pie, I'm gonna put you in. I'm gonna put you in your little nest. So I'm gonna try to get her into her nest. And then you guys, this camera will be in the nest with her, so look how beautiful she is. Poor little sweetie pie. Had a rough time of it. There's a little bit better. View of her eyes. Alright, so I'm going to put her, try to get her to go into her little hidey hole, and then you guys will have a view of that. You're very brave. I'm very proud of you. You don't know it yet, but today is going to be a good day for you. Okay, I promise I'm not going to hurt you. You're safe. Your babies will be very safe. They're going to have a much better life than you've had so far. I promise you that. I totally promise. Okay. Now, going on your blanket. Like that. Okay, good. You guys are getting a butt close up there. Okay, I'm going to clean this up real quick. Get everything settled for her. Hope she stays in there. And then let her settle in for a bit. Oh, try not to make any super loud noises. Good to know Sabina's feeling relaxed. Pretty adorable. eventually, hopefully. Okay, for the flora. Places to sleep. Exploring. Food and water. Alright, I think we're good. I'm gonna go and let her do her thing.